Back in the summer of 2010, when I was 10 years old, I got to play this old game on a computer somewhere at some point. Alright, I forgot the specifics long ago. All that matters is that this game would go on to become the most mysterious game of my childhood. From what I remember, this game was a demo of this sort of 3D marble game, sort of like Super Monkey Ball or Marble Madness but with mouse and keyboard controls. It was physics-based, it was colorful, it had funky music, it had fireworks that would go off when you beat a level, and it had a level called Grand Finale locked behind a full version. And that's the gist of what I could remember, from the one time I got to play it. Fast forward a dozen years to March 2022. By this point, I had finished grade school and was about to finish college, and thanks to the pandemic had turned into a better old man at the age of 22. And one night during this time, as I was trying to fall asleep, this old marble game just came up in my head, and to this day I still don't know what brought it up. And naturally, it being more than double my life later at this point, the memory was faint enough for me to question if it was even real, and it began to eat me up. So I grabbed my phone and I looked up old 3D marble game on Google, expecting to have to do some sleuthing for some obscure lost flash game. But to my surprise, it didn't take me long at all to find what I was looking for. The game I played all those years ago is called Marble Blast Gold. It was published by now defunct developer Garage Games all the way back on May 7th, 2003, marking today the 20th anniversary of the game. And you are seeing footage of me playing it, right? I found it, for free too, and not just a demo, but the full version as well. And to say my experience was blissful and frustrating at the same time would be an understatement. I already made a video on my old channel back when I first discovered this game, but to recap, it's pretty much exactly how I remember it, down to the grand finale level being locked in the demo. The full version has exactly 100 levels, divided into 3 difficulties. The beginner levels are kind of a joke. They're all just tutorials and power-up showcases that delegate whole levels to each mechanic. Like, the first level is just teaching you how to use the WASD keys and that's it, followed by a level that teaches you how to collect gems, then a level that teaches you how to jump, then a level that showcases the super jump power-up. Right? Things that could easily be fit into a single level are instead just chopped up into crumbs, and it's kind of handholdy and just, yeah. But at least the end with the grand finale level, which is the first actual level of the game. This is followed by the intermediate levels, which are also easy and go by pretty fast, but are at least actual levels. Then there are the advanced levels, which very quickly become insanely difficult with little warning, right? To say the least, this game has pacing issues. It quickly goes from holding your hand to breaking it, with not much in between. And this steep curve can be jarring. Many of the levels are also rather archaic, like the threefold maze or block party or pathways, especially pathways. That level is brutal. And what's really annoying is that you have to beat each level one at a time in order to unlock the next, with most of them having a time limit that you don't really get to see until you beat a level and realize you have to beat it again because you're too slow. Yeah, this game is pretty frustrating at points, but I couldn't have it any other way. The controls, as slow and mushy as they may feel at times, are solid. The marble physics are surprisingly accurate and robust, especially by 2003 standards, and they allow for some really cool skips using wall hits and other tricks, many of which you'll see a lot in speedrunning. And I mean, there's just this undeniable charm with the game, with how the skyboxes and the odd-looking levels and the music and the sound effects come together, alright? In a word, it's wacky. It legit feels like an early 2000s screensaver. It is simultaneously aged badly and brilliantly at the same time, and the potential of its controls and physics is just waiting to be realized. And believe me, it has been realized. As great of a rediscovery as Marble Blast Gold was, this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? If MarbleBlast.com is anything to go off of, which is where I found gold in the first place, this game has one of the most dedicated little communities I've seen. There's so much lore to this game and its legacy that to this day, a year after I first played Gold, I'm still finding new things to love about it. From Garage Games' hand in the rise of the indie scene with the release of Marble Blast and the torque engine it runs on, to the weird Xbox Live Arcade sequel to Gold called Marble Blast Ultra, to all the fan-made mods, levels, speedruns, games, and more, it's one of the deepest and most incredible rabbit holes of a game I've seen. And all of the community's efforts and devotion has culminated into a fan-made mod of Gold called Platinum Quest. And what a quest it is. Platinum Quest was released in 2017 and includes all the levels from Marble Blast Gold, Marble Blast Ultra, Marble Blast Platinum, which is the first truly successful fan mod of Marble Blast, and some brand new levels of its own. It also includes custom levels, new gameplay mechanics, multiplayer, online leaderboards, better controls, and a whole bunch of other bells and whistles. It's got achievements, Easter eggs, an infinitely better tutorial section than Marble Blast Gold, all the works. This is the quintessential Marble Blast experience and is the official mod featured on MarbleBlast.com. It's pretty much a love letter to the legacy of Marble Blast, and after having torn through this mod for several months now, I'm still enjoying it just as much today, even if only half of it is any good and the rest is just kind of filler. Like Marble Blast Ultra, the one with the big ball. Despite the blast mechanic being a blast to use, and the aesthetics easily being the most cohesive and interesting in the mod, it ends up reusing many of Gold's levels halfway through, which is kinda lazy if you ask me. Speaking of Gold, yeah, Gold's levels are here too, and are pretty much the same, for better or for worse. Not much to add other than they feel a little bit weird to play with the new controls. Then you got Platinum, which is just kinda bad, alright? Save a few standout levels, Platinum is a textbook case of what happens when you let speedrunners develop your game. It is way too difficult, and not in a good way. Lots of levels feel unfinished or untested, the expert levels in particular are just bloated and terribly designed, and overall it makes for an unsatisfying, frustrating experience that lacks the charm of the original game, and is made only worse by its terrible sound pack. Alright, if you're new, just stay away from Platinum. Alright, save yourself the headache. As for the newest Platinum Quest levels, I don't know, they tend to be a bit gimmicky and all over the place, like the designers just decide to throw as many ideas at the window, not caring if it sticks or breaks, and they kinda do so in lieu of taking advantage of the physics. Thankfully, things stick most of the time, and I do very much enjoy these new levels. It's just, yeah. Not to mention the occasional audio glitch, or the lack of shadows, or the performance issues, or multiplayer being dead, or the many issues trying to play and make custom levels, or how last time Platinum Quest updated, it wiped all my time and progress, meaning I had to start over with everything. Alright? Still salty about that? And at the end of it, there's also a thing called Marble Blast Web that runs in Chrome and has Gold, Ultra, and Platinum, and is arguably much more convenient than Platinum Quest if you're just looking to play Gold. And even though it doesn't have Platinum Quest's levels or many of its features, it's still more than competent. So if you're just looking for Gold, that's probably a better option anyways. So yeah. Platinum Quest isn't really the be-all end-all of Marble Blast, but it's still a testament to the dedication this community has to this now 20-year-old game. And even though it's small, it's still seeing plenty of activity to this day, with a new mod of Marble Blast called Stop Deluxe being released in the middle of me writing this script. It's not particularly polished and it likes to jump scare you, but it's still pretty cool. And there's even a full-on spiritual successor to Marble Blast Gold that was built from scratch by some of the original devs called Marble It Up, and it is little short of amazing. It's pretty much the best aspects of Gold, Ultra, Platinum, and Platinum Quest all rolled up into one, and it's probably the best Marble Blast type game out there. I mean, it does cost a little over $20 on Steam, and it's a bit short, and it controls a bit heavier than even Gold, but coming from that and even Platinum Quest, it's worth every penny. Like, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place with this video, but I'm still positively giddy about all this, right? I'm blown away that all of this exists. And although I've already known about Marble Blast Gold for over a year, I'm still crawling through this network of rabbit holes discovering new things surrounding this game, and I can't get enough of it, right? I gotta say, not bad for something I could've sworn was a false memory.